Hello again, everyone. Saka here, and welcome back to Dwarf Fortress. And you might have never seen this screen before, and you're thinking, wait, this is Dwarf Fortress? Yes, this is Legends mode. And what I would like to do is, from time to time, go and read something about, say, the people that come to visit us, because Dwarf Fortress is more than just a fortress building sim. It's also a big history book. And what you do is you retire your fortress and you save it as another folder. I call the folder Legends, and then you start a new game in a active world, and you just load up Legends mode, and here we go. So Mystery Attic was the name of our establishment, and this is the entire history of Mystery Attic, our first 7 dwarves, and then here were our new arrivals, starting with Terrace Silverink, and I pulled him up right here. It's just like Wikipedia. You just click, and it opens up everything about him. So he was born in 73, so he's 27, third eldest son of those two. And so he married Mizbeth City Sling 2 years after they met. So this is one of our married couple. They first lived in the town of Gasprox, and I'm not sure exactly how far away Gasprox is from us. So Barras Defiant was created by Terrace. So Terrace actually created something called Brass Defiant, a legendary steel short sword, but it was destroyed in Mystery Attic, and this could have been either after I retired the fort, maybe they destroyed it right away while I wasn't watching, or when he arrived, he destroyed Brass Defiant, or Brass Deviant. So he was a maker of a short sword. He lived at he fought in the onslaught in an assault on Dent Raptor, which, has an entire history about it. Going all the way back to the 100 years. But looking at pillaged, we're looking at a dwarf death slayer was struck down by a goblin. So it looks like a goblin village called Dent Raptor. So if Dent Raptor isn't too far away, maybe old Terrace can get some revenge. But this is what I'm talking about, just sort of seeing where they come from. He has mother, father, and the wife, Mezbeth. And Mezbeth has quite a bit of history as well. Ooh, the troll attacked Mezbeth, fought with Mezbeth, while defeated the latter, escaped unscathed. So Mezbeth is actually a survivor of a troll attack, which is interesting enough. And this happened when she was born in 73, and 1 year later, she was attacked by the troll Uxen Ubermeyer. And we read all about Uxen here. And was he killed? Yes, 7 years before we started, he was struck down by the dwarf Toulon Bellhide in the equivalent mountain, and all the notable kills. So Mezbeth was lucky to escape. So that's interesting. I don't know if she'll have any post-traumatic stress, but mother and father, and then an object of casual worship from Sarvesh, master Logram, and husband Tirist. Interesting enough. So, interesting. So, a husband-wife duo, Tirist fought in a battle, and his wife, Mezbeth, survived a troll attack. Sigyn. All right, so Sigyn married Tobal Butted Lashes. Did Tobal come here? Yes. So, the dwarf Tobal came. So, this is Sigyn and Tobal. Not a whole lot of history there. She didn't... Sigyn's first toe was smashed by a goblin. Interesting. Hopefully that don't slow her down too much. But the goblin Boza fly hoist smashed Sigyn's toe. Looking at, husband Tobal Butted Lashes. Now Tobal, was a mercenary in the Wheel of Letters. Was denied an apprenticeship. So old Tobal was rejected from an apprenticeship. Interesting enough. Now, where are these kids? Interesting. So Cyril broke up with Edsel Kraftax, divorced Sigyn. So 3 years, when Dusum was 3 years old, Cyril divorced Sigyn and moved on, former spouse. So her ex Cyril Voice Keys is still out there somewhere. He visited Static Rings to gather information 3 years ago. Hasn't been seen since. Interesting enough. And yes, indeed. So these children are from Sigan. We have Dusum, Zazit, Meng, and Kabuk, and Tekid. And those are the ones that decided to come with them. So, yeah, Sigan bringing her children. A single mom, well, not a single mom. She got remarried, but they got divorced for an unknown reason. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But just figure we would look at our new arrivals. We're not going to do this for everyone. Just some important people, perhaps, you know, fighters that come to live with us, perhaps bards that come to play with us, and monsters that attack us. We can get in here into the Legends mode and read all about them. So picking up right where we left off, there are our dwarves coming to pay us a visit, pick in hand. And let me just make sure that this stockpile here is set correctly. And in fact, what I might do is remove the stockpile permanently and set up a brand new stockpile just in case here. Just to make sure that everything is awesome. So we'll go all and then custom it up. We don't want corpses or refuse. And we are deciding to move stone. We want no stone, and we want no wood. So now that should be a good stockpile here. We will see if things are moved accordingly from the wagon. Hello, migrants. Go ahead and settle in. I would say find a bunk, but we haven't got a bunk yet. The dogs look to be playing and greeting them well. Hopefully they get along with the animals just fine. And yeah, so we've got some things still to haul away. Hopefully they realize that. We were working on this passageway over here to get the stone cutter. And I believe we were making beds as well. Let me just make sure that I have that work order in place. Yeah, to make some beds. So our carpenter should be making beds. Once we see some beds, we will get a temporary dormitory set up. Needs so we can cook. And of course the badger and dogs continuing on as they do. But hopefully our migrants settle in. Here come the children. And yes, indeed. So it does look like some things, yeah. So now they are picking some things off of the wagon. And then we'll be able to tear down that wagon and get settled here. Wow, I'm missing my front door right there. We're going to have to mark that or something. All right, so things are coming in. Bins are starting to get filled. Hopefully the miners will come down here so we can get the stone maker. And there's some, or the craft dwarf, I mean, to get some mugs. And then off of here, we'll probably set up our little dormitory. On rotten cookable solids, we need to get those in as well. So I believe our carpenter is still working on bins. Carpenter will work on... All right, so barrels are done. Beds should be next. Badger and War Dog still fighting. So getting some pear wood from below. Yeah, we just have a lot of stuff queued up. We have to clear out this space here. The children are playing in the stockpile. More fighting. Yep, more fighting. I wish we would go ahead and kill those badgers so we aren't badgered so much with what we're doing here. Cool, we've got the beds made. I don't want to set up the dormitory here, but we might end up unless they, you know, do some mining. What is going on? So storing items in stockpiles, gathering plants, making beds, a lot of storage going on. I don't know if we want to tell our miners to just focus on mining for the time being. Yeah, let's go ahead and get this knocked out, please. Hopefully they will realize we have a mining operation to do, and we can set up the craft dwarf over here. We'll set up just a small dormitory over there. We've struck fire agate. Very nice. Yeah, and once we end up doing that, we should be okay. I do see a couple beds. 4 beds, actually. Nice. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of stuff has to get moved. now that we have that stockpile ready to go. We also set up a big collection. We were collecting a lot of berries and stuff. Is the wagon completely empty? Yes, it is. Go ahead and break down that wagon as well. We'll move in those 3 logs, and that will be the wagon done. All right, so one thing that I also wanted to do is set up, I'm not sure if we can milk and shear, but we can set up a work order here to milk an animal. Yeah, to use any shop, but we'll put in a 0 so that they always try to milk an animal, and shear. Is it shear? Let me see here. Shear animal. We will set that to always do as well. So if they can shear those yaks, they'll get to it. If they can milk those yaks, they can do it. I'm not sure about, oh, nice. Making beds done. So we'll see if a farmer comes over here and shears. It kind of looks like it. Or do we need a farmer workshop? We might need to do that as well. So farming. A farmer? Yeah, work with livestock. Yeah, milk, cheese, spin thread. Wouldn't be a bad idea to get a farmer workshop up there, so that we can indeed try to milk and shear. Get some extra food items. Speaking of which, just making sure that, yeah, our kitchen, so we can make the rhubarbs, the cranberries, the witch leaves. Yeah, we don't want to use our ale, wine, or rum in cooking. We want to keep our drinks solid. We can cook with all that other stuff, I believe, though. Just make sure we have some solid cookable items to do. And even the children can haul. And it does look like, indeed, this child is moving the stray yak. Grouchy from being caught in the rain. I feel ya, I imagine. All right, so that wood has been picked up. Dogs are still doing the thing. Children are herding the yaks back in. And yeah, I imagine they are pretty busy. I'll go ahead and open up the mining to everybody. I mean, these 3 have the picks. Mining isn't one of those things that I think are dependent on experts. We just need this stuff carved out. Do I go ahead and place the beds down and make sort of a dorm? I think I will go ahead and do that. So we'll set a bed, keep building, use the closest material, and we'll go 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. Do we have a 6? We don't. All right. So what we'll do is we'll set this up then as a dormitory. Right there. So that now the dwarves can grab some sleep whenever they need to. The children are laying down on or moving the beds. Outstanding. So now the dwarves can lay down. They don't have to sleep standing up. There we go. Ask and we shall receive. Sigyn, who is missing her toe, basically single mom over here doing the work, as well as Moses is coming in, and Uzel is helping to knock all of this stuff out as well. Once we get down here, we'll get our crafts dwarf up and running. Easy meals have been made. It does look like we need to do some brewing. We have from both plants and fruit, and drinks less than 30. I think what I'm going to do is change that number to be less than 50. That way they start some brewing. I think that would be awesome indeed. So that'll get the brewer going, making some drinks for us. We don't want to get too awful low. And yeah, go ahead and double team those rooms there. And like I said in the first episode, this is going to be, nice, more bituminous coal. This is just going to be a starter area to be sustainable. Once we are sustained, then we can dig deeper and get a fortress proper going. We're just getting the things to keep us alive until that time a-going. Stockpile's looking good. We do need some space for the magnetite. Oh, and the child is sleeping on the bed. So we do have another, oh, that's right. We put in a work order for more beds. We'll keep those beds in storage, as I don't believe we're going to need more than these beds at any one time. All right, let's get the next workshop going, the craft dwarf here. And Craft Dwarf can use that shale that's right there in the room, and then we'll start getting some mugs made. Nice. Ism has become a carpenter. That's what I like to see. She's making more beds out of those wooden logs, looking at her stockpile. Plenty. And nice. We can repaint this stockpile as well to get all of this stone in here if need be. So children, if you want to go ahead and start moving all of that stuff, more power to you. All right, Crafts Dwarf is ready for a brand new work order. Let's get some rock mugs going. And for now, let's do a batch of 5 mugs. If and only if the empty rock mugs are less than 10, or do we go 11? That way they make 15 mugs. Let's just say less than 20 empty mugs will make 5. And a non-economic hard rock is at least 10. That way we keep some in stock. All right, so a Craft Dwarf will hurry up and start making those mugs. Next up, what do we want to build? Well, one thing I know I am going to build here is a stairway down from the Craft Dwarf, down 1 level, and then we're going to mine into that stockpile so that they can get their stones that they need. Now, we're not going to focus on smelting the ores just yet until we get down into a base proper. So essentially, with 46 drink, 39 seeds, and we're picking up some food, I believe. Now we need bags. If we can make some bags, that would be awesome. Let's take a look at our stocks here. All right, so we do have a lot of empty bags. That's what I like to see. So we don't need to get working on bags just yet. How about thread? So we have 5 pigtail threads. Do we have pigtails that we can weave here? So yes, indeed. If worse comes to worse, we have 5 pigtails that we can weave into thread. You know what I just realized? We don't have anything for the traders coming up. And it is late summer. So if we can get some knickknacks to sell them just for sheer value. So let's do that. And then let's make a rock. Rock crafts might not be too bad. Maybe rock figurines. Just something quick we can build sort of as trade value. So we'll make some rock crafts, and then what we'll do is we'll do a batch of, say, 20 rock crafts whenever the non-economic hard rock is greater than 10. That way, you know, if you just got some spare rock laying around, go ahead and make a batch of, and let's actually increase that to 20. 20 rocks, just use it for crafts. And for the time being, since we don't really have enough time to get them down and in, I guess we'll build our trade depot right by us here. So we'll set up the trade depot right here by the animals, and we'll use the shale. 3 shale, why not? All right, so let's see if we can get that trade depot built out of shale. Our farmer's workshop is still queued up to go. So even though we have 16 dwarves, it's still a heavy workload for sure. They're finding the beds. More power to them. And let's see what's going on. Euphoric due to inebriation, worry dwelling upon being unable to pray to the greater turquoise of sheens. So we do need to get some temples set up. We're making our mugs, so you won't have to be annoyed anymore. Who are our 2 most upset dwarves? So Zadok the child. So Zasset, euphoric due to inebriation, having to drink without a cup. That is going to be solved. And then our other dwarf, who is not feeling so hot, is Ism, our carpenter, who is worried about dwelling on being unable to pray and annoyed for drinking without a cup. So at least we're solving the cup issues. So we got that stairway dug out. We don't have the connection there. And what we're going to do is we'll use this stockpile layer as sort of like a strip mine. We do have some like fire agates there. We have some gems, some sapphires that we could dig out, rubies. So this can be our strip mine layer. And then we'll go 1 layer below that to set up the base properly. But they just have to recover a bit. They have to get out of bed and start getting to work. Craftsman is coming in, making some bauxite crafts. We just need a little bit trade value to get some leather in here, because if I looked at our stocks, I'm not sure what kind of leather we have. So we've just got wet leather dress, a dog leather bag, handwear, footwear, leaves, quivers, and rough gems. Oof, do we not have any leather at all? We also have a lot of pond shell turtles, or pond turtle shells. We have some badger teeth. I wonder if we can make crafts out of those? Yes, indeed. So we can make shell from the craft workshop. I just want to be absolutely sure. Yeah, so shell. So the craft dwarf can also do some crafting, not only of the rock, but of the shells as well. Would a rock craft be worth more than a shell craft, I wonder? Either way, we'll go ahead and set that up. So we're making rock crafts as well as another work order. Not only making mugs, but let's make some shell helm. Pooh. Let's make some shell crafts. We'll do 10 of them if the unrotten shells are greater than 10. And we've got plenty of shells that our crafts dwarf can go to town on. All right, so without further ado and delay, let's go ahead and start digging down a bit. So we'll do a stairway down right here, 2 levels down, and then we will come out into a gathering area, a meeting hall, as it were, and we will make this fairly large, as this will be like a nice central location. We'll also do something like that, where we leave some columns that we might be able to smooth. And yeah, I always do that. I always overwrite the stairs with an axe. So there we go. So now the miners should start working on those stairwells, getting down to the meeting area. Barrels are completed. Badger Sow is fighting again. All right, so we should be about done with the beds. We'll have plenty of beds, I believe, left over for individual bedrooms once we start getting down there. Our beds are holding nice and stable. What is going on with our seeds here? Probably with it being late summer, this planting season is already done. Once we get to early autumn, the planter might do another round. But indeed, our trade depot is built. Our farmer's workshop is not. Conducting meeting, brewing drinks, storing in the stockpile. Still a lot of movement for these dwarves here. But then once we get down here, we'll start heading out to the base proper. And I'm thinking that this is sort of like a common meeting area. Perhaps, you know, an offshoot, maybe down one hallway we have the crafting wing. Down another hall, you know, we might have a storage wing or something of that nature. I kind of want to keep these localized stockpiles going. So if we can drill a stairwell, say from the wood straight down, and make a few wood, maybe like a furnace and the wood burners and things over here, that would be awesome as well. Yeah, a lot of task to do. Still brewing drinks from plants, putting stuff in our barrels. So that's where the barrels are coming from for sure, is filling up our drink so we don't get too thirsty. Tobel has become a carpenter as well, working here at the shop, a novice carpenter. So eating a good meal, admiring art, being with family, and praying. And it kind of seems like maybe the temple may be what we head to first, so that they can get their prayer needs met. But our crafts dwarf is going to town making shale bracelets, pond turtle amulets, figurines. There's our mugs. We're not going to be selling our mugs, but definitely if we can get these figurines and bracelets and whatnot done, we'll have some trade value when the traders do come here. There we go. Moses is now drilling from the stockpile to the craft dwarf workshop, and now we're starting to poke through to the bottom to our initial meeting area. And I'll set this up as the meeting area for now. That way they can converse with one another. Luckily, we haven't hit that light aquifer. I don't want to speak evil into the world just yet. But once we get an aquifer, I will try to have that as our clean water. And if this is sort of our base layer, we can run a well from here, since this doesn't seem to be the aquifer layer. All right, late summer. Looks like the plump helmets are going back in. We have 86 drinks now, 44 seeds. Oh, and in our refuse pile, we have a badger sow nose. So that badger messed around and found out, lost its nose around here. Still plenty of badgers in the area. If we could find a bow or get a crossbow from this first caravan, we might be able to finally get a hunter up and running. And I wish someone would come and build this farmer's workshop so we can try to milk these yaks and perhaps shear them. We also have a calf, or a water buffalo, so we should be able to get some milk from that. And yeah, come on back, yak. What are you doing? Terrified while in conflict. So those badgers are pestering the crap out of our animals, unfortunately. And getting down to our new meeting area, looks like shale and nothing else. No gems in the walls, no economic stone, nothing like that. Just good old building stone, as if you guys didn't have anything else to do. So what we'll do is we'll set rock blocks to 50, and we'll build them 10 at a time. And then if the non-economic hard rock is greater than 10, they'll make that batch of 10. So we'll start getting these shale building blocks ready to go. That way, if we do run into an aquifer that we cannot smooth, we'll have some blocks that we can place in there as well. So stone worker, as if you didn't have anything else to do, get to it. Here we go, hematite in the walls. That's what I like to see. All right, so let's set up a zone as a meeting area right here. That way they can converse with one another and, you know, continue on their daily task. And then we'll start getting our real crafting, say, off to the left over here. And since we have a decent layer that we can go all the way over, what I think we will do is we'll set up some workshops like so. A few over, and have a like the central disposal stockpile that we kind of have here. We can sort of specialize and move the drinks to a tavern. We can move the bags of seed by the farms. And if we're lucky, we'll run into some more clay over here, but it looks like this is just going to be solid rock down here on this level, so I don't think we'll be able to plant down here. It would be awesome if we could find, say, an aquifer, let it drain into a room, close up that aquifer, and then plant on that mud until we get into the cavern. But yeah, let's open this up just a bit. So right below the carpenter shop, we run through the wood stockpile into what will be woodworking stuff. So we'll put our wood burner down here, as well as the carpentry shop. Basically, if it has to do with wood, we'll connect it here, and then their wood stockpile will be just above them. Conversely, with the stone, we have our stone stockpile here, and we have our stairs running from our stoneworker workshop straight down through the stone stockpile, and over here will be smelters, that sort of thing. And indeed, we are storing magnetite, probably, tetrahedrite, all that good stuff in here as well as that gets used. So that will be awesome indeed. And let me set this stair again. I don't believe this stair worked correctly, or it might have. We'll take a see. But I think that will be a decent start now to get wood and stone production. Then further down the hall, we can have our food supply, perhaps our brewing. And I don't know, do we want to put the tavern at, say, the end of the hall over here? Or, just a dining area for them and them alone? Because I still do want to put on the surface here an inn or something of that nature to cover the fortress. So if we could have a stairway straight up from our drink reserves, which if we store our drinks, say, over here, we could do such things as these. And then, say, to the right, we'll have perhaps our temples, that sort of place. So let's get going and see what we uncover here. It's just, as of now, it's the sheer amount of putting things in the stockpile. We are making the rock blocks. That is awesome. But that stockpiling, moving all of this stone in and whatnot is definitely slowing them down a bit. But we'll let them work at their own pace. I'm not going to force them to mine just yet. And autumn has come. We should be expecting our trade caravan soonish. What's going on? Euphoric embarrassed due to the lack of chairs. So you want chairs, huh? So we'll have them make a few rock thrones. Since they're less than 10, they'll make a couple batches of thrones. We can get some tables and chairs down here as well. Let's actually get a table as well. And same thing, we'll make some rock tables. That way we can set up some possibly tables and chairs here in the meeting area until we get a proper dining area. Once we get a proper dining area, then we will be able to put those tables and chairs in there. It needs potash. So yeah, we'll be working on that once we get our wood burner over here. There we go. Now miners are coming through. Moses once again to save the day, and Sigan mining out the bottom. So our wood production, the things that will use wood will be up here. Stone usage will be down here. And then we will, we've struck gypsum and rose quartz as well. Nice. We can cut some gems, get a gem cutter as well. As far as storing the gems, not sure where we would be the best, but nice. We can make some casts from gypsum. Yes, indeed, the hospital. All right, so rock mugs are complete. Everyone should have mugs to drink with now. And once we get all of this hollowed out, they should store the gypsum. Yeah, the gypsum may just lay there. I don't know if we should open up rock storage here or if we go down one more layer of rock storage. Might not be a bad idea. So when you all are done there, just extend your rock storage a skosh, and we'll just extend that stockpile out a bit. Yep, job item misplaced. I'm sure someone else either picked it up or decided to use it. Yeah, there's plenty of shale that we're dropping. Hopefully they are continuing to make those shale blocks. Yeah, we're at 12 shale blocks and 8 microlean. So working on those building blocks. And then for now, let's get another workshop. And this is going to be, do we want to do let's do the furnace first. We'll just do a regular wood furnace. So we can put the wood furnace there using that shale directly. And then once that wood furnace comes up and running, we'll be able to make some charcoal. So we can start up our kiln and start getting some of this bituminous coal refined down into coke, which would be awesome indeed. All right, construction nearly done. Nice, we can get in a work order. So your first work order, make charcoal. And let's say you keep, I don't know how many charcoal is needed to kickstart the thing, but having 10 charcoal wouldn't be bad. The amount of logs is also greater than 10, and the amount of refined coal is less than 10 for now. We'll get some refined coal once we get our smelter going, that is for sure. They'll be able to just carry the charcoal on over. Alabaster and anhydrite. Yeah, we are coming across a lot of rock. All right, so then down here is going to be our smelting area. So let's go with our workshop. Let's start with a furnace, and we will do the smelter. So we can also refine coal, and that's going to be a big deal for us. With all of that bituminous coal just waiting in the wings. There we go. We'll use the anhydrite. Sure, anhydrite forge. Bends are completed. And the charcoal is being processed with pear wood. So we'll have some charcoal to kickstart this off. An animal is now a stray water buffalo cow, and we've struck more hematite. Oh, that's a nice hue. I do like that anhydrite color. Boom, forge is up. And now we will make coke from bituminous coal. And we will do that 10 times if the amount of coke is less than 10, the amount of bituminous coal is greater than 10, and the amount of, yeah, we'll just roll with that. All right, so making coke from bituminous coal, and we could probably, do we have lignite as well? Yeah, just 4 lignite. I don't think we're going to worry about making coke from lignite just yet. So bituminous coal is probably what we are, yeah, we've got 21 bituminous coal. So we can start getting some coal. And here come the traders. Outstanding. So we'll continue to work there. And the liaison Obak Lidok from Kol Lalor has arrived. Yep, outpost liaison right there. So let's work on getting something here to trade with here. So moving goods. What do we have that is valuable? Let's get this finished goods bin. It has our shells, amulets, crowns. Ooh, that's a pretty decent mug. The bauxite scepter, pond turtle, shell figurines, a lot of little stuff. And we'll go ahead and move our gem bin. There are a few gems here worth 1,000 that I'm going to try not to use. It just depends on how much. And of course, we want to keep rough stones on hand for any moods that might strike us. But I think moving those two will be awesome. And lead tasks, we will get your request, please. All right, diplomacy. First up, I'm your liaison from the mountain homes. Let's discuss the situation. Information added to the world. So if we open up the world screen, I believe this will show us what's going on. We center on the fort. I don't see any movement. All right, that's fine. All right, so for next year, I think leather would be a really big deal. So let's find some cheap leather. I don't know if turkey leather would be probably alpaca leather, llama leather, goose leather, stuff like that that isn't too bad. Pig and cow and sheep leather, whatever you can give me there. Any pigtail thread you can get us would be awesome as well. All right, so we got some leather requested for next year. Of course, they're going to mark it up heavy. And if we can make battle axes before next year, they will pay a 192% premium for battle axes. So let's keep that in mind. All right, Litast, if we can go ahead and trade, please. All right, ready to trade. So what we'll do is we will keep these rough gems here, sell the expensive ones, which I was led to believe that these were going to be worth thousands, but I was wrong. And then let's sell all the little knickknacks as well, and not the mugs. We're going to keep our mugs. And then once we have an idea of what we can give them, we'll have an idea on what we can ask in return. All right, so there we go. All of our knickknacks handed over, as well as our most expensive rough gems, which gives us buying power of 1429. And the trader wants to, of course, make a profit. So let's see what we can get away with really cheap. No, nobody brought an extra bag. We'll grab some cloth, and ooh, this leather is nice. We will take the lot. The nether cap bin, or is, oh, yeah, we don't want the bin. It's cheaper, actually, just to buy the individual leather and stack it ourselves. So we'll do that. All right, we'll grab some cloth. We'll grab all the meat and all the fish, and that would still give him some decent profit. Can we grab the plump helmets as well? Sure. He seems awesome with that. Yeah, we got leaves and fruits, caper berries. It probably wouldn't hurt to grab all the thread. That's still good profit for him. All right, we don't need backpacks just yet. All right, cool. All right, so let's scale back. Yeah, so he does want a little bit more of that. All right, so let's scale back just a bit until he no longer likes the profit. So we can get away with keeping most of these knickknacks for next time around. I mean, they're not worth that much. There we go. So there we go. So selling off some knickknacks and getting back a lot of meat, a lot of fish, which our chef should go into cooking mode right away. A lot of cloth and some thread as well, and some leather. All right, let's go ahead and mark that as a trade. Thank you for your business indeed. All right, no trader needed at the depot. Everyone will be ready to haul that stuff in, and we should have plenty of space. We have plenty of bins down here to sell the extra. And yeah, here we go. Stockpile is ready to expand, so we'll go ahead and paint that corner up. Get a little extra space to store some rock, some stone. All right, are you making coke? Yeah, we'll have plenty of coke from the bituminous coal, and you should be finishing up making charcoal. All right, so we need an ashery to make some potash from ash. So the next thing that we can queue up here is to make ash from our, from our wood furnace. Work orders make ash. So we'll make 10 ash if the amount of ash is less than 10 and the logs are greater than 10. Satisfied. And then that can run right into the potash, which we will place right next to it at the ashery in the corner there. And we're not, well, shoot, so we do need blocks. So it's a good thing we made them. We'll make them out of microlean. We have a goblin cat barrel we can use, 1 bucket, and that will complete the ashery there. Let's see, we also need a powder maker if we want to make gypsum. What in the gravy is alabaster used for? Also plaster. Good deal. So with gypsum and alabaster, we can get some casting powder made for our hospital. And checking up on our wood stores, it's starting to get a little light. I am not going to lie, we might have to chop down another tree or two. So right here by the entrance, we have hazel, we have larch. Yeah, let's just do a sweep right there or so. And that should fill up some wood stores to continue making ash. And then we can get the potash ready for fertilization. Rock thrones are completed. So in this little meeting hall area, I think we want to set up, since this, I guess, is a meeting area, we can put down a few chairs. Let's say shale throne. And we'll just continue placing here. Use closest material and keep building. 2 and 3. And then 1 and 2 and 3. Or 5. That works too. And then we'll furniture table and place those right there as well. Cool. Ashery done. So work orders make potash from ash. And we'll make 10 potash if it's less than 10 and ash is greater than 10. So they'll hold on to their horses until that is ready to go. And since we have so much tetrahedrite down here just waiting for us, we can also set up a work order, maybe even another smelter, it probably wouldn't hurt to get smelter number 2 working as well. So we'll get another smelter up here. And in the meantime, we'll go ahead and start a work order to make smelt tetrahedrite ore. And then in order to get it all, we'll keep the order nice and small and the numbers nice and small. So if the copper bars, just do it. If tetrahedrite is greater than 5 and the amount of refined coal is greater than 5, just smelt your tetrahedrite. We really don't care about, keeping a cap on copper and silver bars. We just want to smelt all of that as we can. And since we don't have that much hematite, we'll try to do 1 per day. Once we strike with hematite and we have like 100 hematite just waiting, we'll jack up that work order, but that will at least get them smelting hematite as well. And yes, indeed, Child is sitting down on the throne. So just one who is kind of upset right now, the Dwarven Child, 7 years old with a full beard. He's satisfied crying on someone, felting fondness, satisfied while yelling. He's venting, which is good. So yeah, just being shocked, reliving being attacked and resentful after getting into an argument. But it looks like he may come around, which is all well and good. All right, so the gypsum, how do we refine this into powder? Is this something we can start working on as well? There we go. So we can make 5 plaster powder if we have more than 5 gypsum stones, 5 empty bags, and 5 refined coal. And we also had this other plaster stone, alabaster, which I think we can also get some plaster powder out of as well. Which we have way more gypsum than alabaster. Maybe that classifies as a gypsum rock. Not sure. But we do have those uncut gems for now. We might work on a gem cutter, depending on where these stones are being kept. So the stones might actually be stored here in the basic stockpile. And we do have some food that needs to be made. Do we need to adjust our food? What we'll do is we'll kickstart the kitchen. We'll say unrotten prepared meals less than 500. That will give us 200 cap. And we'll do 10 easy meals at a time. Do we want to try to do, instead of easy meals, we prepare medium meals? Let's go ahead and try that. So what kind of meals? So we'll do a fine meal then. And then we'll do fine meals if the unrotten prepared meals is less than 500, which it is. The unrotten solid items are greater than 10. Cookable items greater than 10. Awesome. So that should get the kitchen going to make some fine meals. And that will be fine. All right, so to make the plaster powder that we have queued up, we will need a kiln. Yes, indeed, cool. So we can put the kiln, say, over here, and then put a stockpile for just gypsum over here. That, I think that would be kind of cool. So we're set our kiln here next to our smelter and our second smelter. And then what we'll do is we'll set up a stockpile for just our gypsum. So let's put that, say, right here. Hopefully that'll be enough to keep our gypsum, because we're gonna keep chewing through the gypsum. All right, so we'll say stone, but then we'll go in and customize stone. We just want gypsum. So no metal ores, no other stone, no clay. In economic, we want the gypsum and we want the alabaster. So that should bring them all over here and out of this stockpile down here, which will go into our economic stone and say, don't store alabaster or gypsum there, if you please. All right, so we still need to haul a bunch of stuff off of the main, but the kitchen is working, cooking those dingo spleens. So this should get us up pretty well. Naked mole dog spleen. So some spleen soup. All right, and since this is our wood area, we'll go ahead and make the carpenter down here as well. And then we can remove the carpenter workshop from upstairs and start kind of migrating this stuff down. Now, yeah, we're starting to run low on wood stocks, that is for sure. All right, charcoal is done. So I don't believe we'll be making any more charcoal. Yeah, we're making ash now. And then once we do that, we'll be able to get potash from our ashery. And then start fertilizing our crops, which should get, hopefully, our seeds up a bit. And yes, indeed, the make the plaster powder is ready to go using that alabaster and coke. Good, so the alabaster and the gypsum will be brought down here to this stockpile right next to the kiln. And then hopefully we have some empty bags that this plaster powder can fit into. So our two most upset patrons are children, and it's just, so we fixed the lack of chairs. They should have chairs, but reliving being attacked. There's nothing I can do to heal your post-traumatic stress there, kid. You know what would help? Getting back to work. All right, so now that carpenter's workshop is ready, we can disassemble that carpenter workshop right there and basically pretend that this doesn't exist. Start slowly moving the workshops down. We'll have to move our still down, but luckily it looks like we are cleaning up nicely as long as they're continuing to make blocks, which they are doing. Things are continuing to be planted, which they are. Freaking badger. Yeah, and it's one of those things where our woodcutter hasn't even chopped down wood yet, and there's still the things that we bought laying on the trader's table. It's just a lot of items being stored in the stockpile, and yeah, so people aren't leaning. I mean, they're making good work. It's just there's a lot of work to do right now. And just like on cue, some migrants are coming in, I guess, to help save the day. This is going to be one of those things where, depending on how many migrants we get, we're going to be needing some more beds. Because as of now, the only beds we have are this sort of common bunk area here. So we actually might work on some bedrooms as well. I mean, busy, busy, busy. Get those tourmalines out. Always something to do, but let's take a look at our new arrivals. So Moldath Eminil is a carpenter, 69 years old, a talented carpenter, novice stonecrafter. I like it, I like it. We also have Id as a Alis Golem, the woodcutter, and we need a woodcutter. So she can get to work like quick, fast, and in a hurry right away. Aleth Korith, the animal trainer. Well, I mean, if we have some war dogs, that would be awesome. We could get our dogs trained. Datan Kobuk Sul, the metalsmith. Legendary weaponsmith, armor smith, and metal crafter. All right, this guy might start making us some copper stuff, or maybe some bronze if we can get there. So yeah, getting these forges up and running. It's preparing for Datan to come to town. And we have Olin, the fishery worker, fish cleaner, fisher dwarf. I don't know there, Olin, if there's much fishing, but we'll accommodate. And then 2 children, Avuz and Kogan. Okay, how old are you? 14, so you're almost an adult. And we have a 4-year-old. Okay, well, welcome aboard. And we'll get you settled in next time. But that will do it for me, everyone. Like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'll see you in the next Dwarf Fortress video. Take care.